This is Quake Remastered. We're here on Xbox Series X taking a look at this beautiful and very fluid next-gen optimized upgrade to this absolutely fantastic and classic shooter. So we checked out this game not too long ago. It was fantastic. It was a blast. I did like a live stream for it in multiplayer, which was so much fun. But, you know, we were still waiting for things to get a little bit more next-gen for this particular release, and now it is properly optimized, and it is so incredibly fast. It is crazy just how much quicker this game now is. I mean, it was frantic before, but now things have gotten even more intense. So, yeah, now what are we getting? We're getting a 4K resolution. I believe it should be dynamic since it says, you know, kind of a maximum resolution note at 120 FPS. So keep in mind, you know, must press the 3 buttons. Oh no. You know, I can't record at 120 FPS. YouTube doesn't support it. So hopefully you're seeing, I guess you could say, a super FPS, super sampling or something to some degree of this experience. This is going to kill me, isn't it? Not very smart move of me to do that. Anyways, yeah, it is so beautifully fluid. It looks insanely gorgeous. You know, just like the quality of the texture upgrade is just amazing. Yeah, I know I can jump across. You're killing me, game. But yeah, it really is just quite a fantastic upgrade to this already excellent experience. And we're just in the single player right now. We'll be showing off some of the multiplayer too, so you can see that in action. But yeah, it's just this really high frame rate thing that looks so smooth, plays so well. It's just awesome. It's also a Xbox Play Anywhere title now, so that means you buy it once digitally, you own it on, you know, not only the Xbox, but you also own it on PC, which is fantastic, and it's a Game Pass Forever title, since it's now first party. So that's kind of exciting as well. But yeah, it's just a really great experience with fast-moving action, intense gameplay, and gripping gore and intensity. It really is quite a unique experience, and most certainly definitely worth your time. This is such a blast of a game, and I think it will genuinely surprise you in so many ways as you work through the, you know, basically all of the content that's present here story-wise. And then if you move on, you can also go and do gripping online play. You can also play the campaign in co-op online with the server browser and whatnot, and I think that's really, really cool. But yeah, it's just a real blast of an experience, and so cool. It's got this like gripping, intense story where you're going about blasting guys. There's like this night stuff to it. I was kind of hoping there'd be some, you know, always looking for secrets and whatnot. So I think for returning veteran players, you're going to absolutely love what this has to offer. I think for, you know, new players, you might discover that this is, you know, kind of one of the best shooters ever created. It really is just fantastic. Got the biosuit, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, biosuit, which would have been very helpful for going to the kind of the next area. As you can see, there's lots of secrets in the different levels, which is kind of fun to basically see and showcase here. But I'm trying to show off a few different areas. There are giant, weird, grotesque monster type things, all kinds of stuff. You know, this game is just crazy, and you usually get you know, a wide range of different toys and weapons and such, but, you know, this is like a fairly early on level that we're just showcasing here. I thought it was kind of a good one to give, you know, a look at the aesthetics and whatnot of the experience. But yeah, no, it's just kind of this gnarly, crazy kind of game where you've got to pick up health, you got to pick up weapons, you got to pick up tools, and you got to just absolutely annihilate and blast the enemies that are getting in your way. And it feels so good. Like, really, it just genuinely does have such a nice sort of aesthetic to it that's been cleaned up really well. And then you've got this, like, you know, great frame rate to it, and I think that makes it even better, which is, you know, to me, quite fantastic. And I hope I'm playing it all right for the people that are asking. Now, I also suggest if you are on the controller that you use the left trigger in order to jump. There's like A is jump, but, you know, the left trigger for jumping feels a lot more natural. And obviously, if you're on PC, it's going to make even a bigger difference gameplay-wise to be playing like that. You know, playing with the mouse and keyboard is what I mean there, because that's going to kind of be a big thing, right, is the mouse and keyboard option on that one. I think it makes a huge world of difference on this. So it's also got, like, split screen play as well, local co-op, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, you can play the story thing all through an online multiplayer and co-op, which is kind of cool. And either you're going to sort of love that, or you'll find it weird or maybe too easy, but, you know, it's really up to you and how you want to engage with the game and the different things you want to do in it, which is kind of neat. Yeah, it just offers a lot of I want to say replayability too, but it's just kind of really cool to be here, taking a look at this game and kind of showcasing it all these years later. Oh, and there's a mod support, extra mission support, and there's like a Quake 64 option in the main menu that you can kind of choose if you want to go for that visual aesthetic. So this is actually something that's kind of like jam-packed with things and activities for you to do. But I think at this point we're going to switch over and we're going to show off some of the multiplayer in action. We don't have enough keys, so that you can get an idea of, you know, what the competitive play is like in this one, because I think the multiplayer is a blast. It really is genuinely, you know, such a good time. Ooh, the crazy portal area. Secrets are always fun to discover after you've blasted people, but you can look around and you can find neat extra things in the levels, and that's the fun of it, is kind of being like, hey, look, there's an off path, you know, find different things here, tools. But yeah, let's get going on to that multiplayer aspect. So this is the multiplayer with crossplay enabled. I do suggest not necessarily matchmaking, but using the server browser in order to find matches, and there still are a few matches being played. It does have that original soundtrack, which I guess was done by the 9 Inch Nails, because I got like a huge copyright thing when I streamed this game. I was like, whoa! Definitely did not expect that. So if you like that original soundtrack, you know that's present here. But it's like 8 players online. It's kind of cool, it's fun, it's wacky. They've got just a ton of levels that are present within this one for you to experience a wide range of combative scenarios. You can get like rockets, you can get different tools. There's an absolute ton of maps that are present here, which is quite exciting. I don't know, I just think it's really cool what they've been able to achieve with this, and it's so exciting to be back here. Again, going over this like next-gen update for the game. Because it was something where I'm like, okay, we'll revisit it, we'll see how it is, but yeah, it is hella fluid, it's so cool. Down you go. Boomstick, and the little sayings on the top are so funny too, as you kind of like, you know, kind of have different saying things that pop up. It's like, you got annihilated by someone's boomstick, or something like that. And I just find those always to be entertaining. So, I guess it's also in the cloud. I mean, we don't really necessarily include that with the reviews, but like I mentioned, it's first party now with Xbox, so it's on Game Pass forever. It's going to be a good staple of the cloud gaming options that are present, and it's just this really, truly iconic experience. Like, I imagine people that played Quake back in the day were like, ooh, you know, this is amazing to re-enjoy this. And newer players will probably be like, oh, this is a little weird and stuff, but trust me when I say, when you jump in here and play it, it is fun. I really want a new Quake kind of done in the style of like maybe Doom and Doom Eternal. You know, Doom 2016 that is. Just in terms of like revamping the concept in a modern way, I think that could be a lot of fun. And it would be really cool because not only would that be available, we'd also have this really old upgraded version of that original experience that I think is still, to me at least, very iconic and a unique time. And if you've played the Doom games, like the old school Doom, or the old school Wolfie games, you're probably going to feel, you know, right at home with this one, right? Like, it's going to feel something that you're familiar with and whatnot. And it is so fast, you just keep going and going and shooting and killing. And I think that's part of the intensity, is just like, the flow of it is absolutely nuts. And generally just quite gnarly. Oh, he's got that weapon, that's not good for me. So, I should also mention, yeah, we mentioned the mods, the quick extra play, the Quake 64 stuff that's present there, and that kind of main menu option. So that's kind of a cool thing that's available. This is an intense battle. So you should go to options, then display. So you can also change your field of view, texture smoothing, change your resolution options, enhance model stuff. So you can tweak and play around with this stuff if you want, dynamic shadows. So that's kind of a cool option selection that you can tweak there. And then multiplayer, you can do different voice chat options and change how your player goes. Guy's complaining. It's because he's just bad at the game. And then your input settings for adjustments. I thought we should just maybe mention that as well, as we kind of wait for the next match to get going. So the campaign has the original game, the expansion packs, the Scourge of Armagon, and Dissolution of Eternity, as well as 2 new expansions, Dimensions of the Past and the Dimensions of the Machine. So that's kind of exciting. It looks like they're just setting up the next match scenario for us to battle here. Widescreen support for kind of the visual options again. And I think that about covers all of the, you know, kind of different elements of what this game is in terms of what they've added to it, gameplay-wise, for mechanics and stuff like that. It's just really, really good. It's a lot of fun, and I just have had such a blast sitting here battling and playing this game, you know, kind of visiting it for the first time, really, right? And seeing what it's like. I mean, I've played like little bits of it in the past, but I didn't really deep dive into it until this remaster came out, and I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. This, like, strangely holds up so beautifully well, and it's such a frantic time, and it's great to see that the community has kind of embraced it to a degree, and, you know, just in supporting it and still playing it. It's kind of amazing going on here every now and then and being like, oh wow, there's actually people that you can still play with. Like, some people, when the game first came out, they're like, oh, it's gonna die after, like, you know, the first week and whatnot, but no, there's a steady group of people that are actually enjoying what this has to offer. Kind of makes me wonder, you know, if other similar older games got, you know, this sort of treatment. Would we see communities kind of build up around these newer iterations of them? It seems like a lot of companies are trying to do, you know, remasters and stuff these days, and remakes, and that, it just always happens at the beginning of a new gen, right? It's kind of a big thing about that. Or anniversaries and everything, because we keep hitting more and more milestones and anniversaries for all these different games. But it's hard to get it right, and it's hard to do it really good, and I think they absolutely nailed this, kind of bringing back that original style, but making it feel so good for the modern age. You know, it's really quite a joy being here, battling and facing off against others, and just absolutely unleashing carnage with a wide range of weapons. There's so many different weapons on this one. It really is quite exciting. But the biggest thing, again, which is what we're highlighting today in this review, is that high frame rate. That 120 FPS goodness is just so good. Ugh. It's, you know, you just don't want to pass it off. Okay, we want the rockets. At least I think so. Oh no, this shoots the little jet thingies. Oh, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, it's got like such a kick-ass arsenal of weapons and tools that you can deploy. I think you'll quite like discovering them all as you work through the campaign and, you know, do the multiplayer. I mean, you could just play multiplayer if that's your sort of thing. You know, and there is usually a killer soundtrack, but like I mentioned, it's got like some intense copyright stuff behind it. So that's why you're not, you know, hearing it in the backdrop, but it really is still gnarly and great music to enjoy. Oh, there's lots of stuff going on here. And it's really about becoming like masterful with the different weapons in order to be effective online. And a little bit of luck too. I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily anything too great at the multiplayer, but yet I still have an absolute blast of a time with it. I can't explain it, but it's just really fun and like full of carnage and insanity. And these levels, like the map designs on this stuff, are just so cool. You know, this is like one of the classic original multiplayer games that really kind of set the stage for what we have today, and I think it's kind of neat to see where it's gone, like come from and where it's gone at this point if you're playing like newer multiplayer games. I find that exciting. At least, you know, for me, it's kind of a cool thing to think about. But yeah, just like one ultimate package of intense carnage, upgraded things. It's got all the bells and whistles of the, you know, the Xbox console, and also, you know, kind of the Xbox, like on Steam, or not on Steam, well, yeah, actually. So, but I'm trying to say Xbox on PC side of things being a Play Anywhere title is what I'm trying to get at. You know, it's got all the bells and whistles of that, it's got all the bells and whistles of the console, and it just comes together in one awesome, badass way. It really is quite an experience, you know, it is so cool to see. I think it's definitely worthwhile to try out if you've never heard of this game, or you're returning to it. And I mean, if you are one of those like veterans that's coming back here, you're gonna be like, whoa, it never looked this good, or I always thought it looked like this, and now it really does capture that like aesthetic that you always kind of thought of. And to me, I think that's kind of special. And it feels, like, seriously, if you have the 120 Hz option, whoa. Yeah, that's crazy. I guess I could give a quick synopsis campaign-wise too. I mean, story is kind of like, you're Ranger, a warrior with a powerful arsenal of weapons to absolutely decimate this large range of corrupted knights, deformed ogres, and an army of twisted creatures across these different dimensional campaign experiences. You know, it's the craziness of Quake. And it would be so cool if they could bring this back and do new things with it in the future time. But yeah, I think I've covered all of the experience for this one in terms of what it's got. I guess you can just enjoy some regular gameplay at this point without any further commentary stuff.
Huh.